Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today, I can't wait to share with you my most intoxicating and addictive fragrances currently. Like, these are the ones that I'm like, oh, you're just so amazing. I just want to be sniffing you. They're so fantastic. So they're great for kind of those evenings out. To me, although some of them are a little bit heavy, I think that they will work for a sultry evening fragrance as well. They're all amazing and they all have that kind of intoxicating, addictive quality where you just want to go back for more and more. And sometimes you want to smell like just so luscious that your significant other just wants to keep on coming in for a sniff. That's what we want sometimes, right? So these will do that for you. So before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get into this. First, I'd like to thank Juliana's Perfumes for sponsoring this video. So I'm going to intersperse the fragrances throughout the video. And all of these I chose specifically because I found them intoxicating and addictive. But all three of them will be bundled together, and I'll have the links down below so that you can take a look at what they have to offer. But I wanted to start with one of those being they were sponsoring. I've actually loved this fragrance for years. So my friend Lori, she got a bunch of samples from Juliana's Perfumes when they were shipping to Canada. Currently, they don't ship anywhere but in the US. But I had a sample of this and I used it sparingly because I loved it so much and I thought it was so freaking close to what it's inspired after. And it is Inner Beauty Exclusive. Now, this is, of course, inspired by Delina Exclusive. And I think it's so freaking close, it defies description. As soon as I smell it, my mouth starts watering. It is the most delightful, sensual, silky, smoky, jammy rose you could ever find. Now, some people really love Delina, some people love Delina Exclusive, and some love them both. I love them both, but I lean towards Exclusive because I just find it so uber freaking sexy. So this does it for me. It has the same vibe. It smells so close, and I have Delina Exclusive, like a good large sample of it, and I think that they smell really similar. Now, my friend Danny, she also has Delina Exclusive. She's one that gave me the sample. And so I wanted to see what she thought of it because she's got a full bottle of the Delina Exclusive. And when she first sprayed it on, she went, no, this isn't close enough. So the opening wasn't quite close enough for her, but as it dried down, she went, it smells exactly like Delina Exclusive. And once it's dried down, so like within about 10 minutes, I absolutely love this. If you want something sensual, sexy, smells luxurious, but a little bit mysterious, this is fantastic. Love this one. The next fragrance that I find totally intoxicating and addictive. In fact, this one lately, I'm like, why haven't I been wearing you nonstop? Because I've just kind of fallen in love with it. And it is the Chronic Rouge Extreme by Byron Perfumes. It has raspberry in it, which is one of my favorite notes. It's got melon and it's got whipped cream. When I smell it, I think strawberry, but it's not strawberry, it's raspberry and melon. But it gives me that same kind of fruity red fruit vibe mixed with that cream. It's so yummy. To me, it doesn't smell like a milkshake, but it smells like fresh fruit mixed with whipped cream. That's the feel that I get, like almost like an ambrosia without coconut. This has some spicy notes. It's got some amber, and then it dries down a little bit musky, a little bit woody. I just think it's absolutely decadent and intoxicating. And anytime I've worn this, I get compliments. So it's just delicious. To me, it sits a little closer to the skin after about 3 hours or so, but that scent is going to linger and you're going to get a decent enough scent bubble. I find this totally addictive. Like, I smell it, I want to smell it again and again and again. Then I want to douse myself in it. So this is glorious. It's a glorious fragrance, and I just think it's definitely worth a sniff. It's kind of interesting because I think that this one reminds me more of Mula Mula than the Chronic. So the Chronic is blue, and then this is the Chronic Rouge Extreme, and then there's Mula Mula and Mula Mula Rouge Extreme. To me, this reminds me more of the Blue Mula Mula than it does the Chronic. So I'm not sure if it's the spiciness that kind of happens in the dry down is more similar to the Chronic, but the fruitiness of this with that whipped cream, it just smells so intoxicating. And this is a fragrance I can see guys really liking because it's got that sweet aspect, but it's really alluring and sensual. So, oh, love it. This next fragrance is right up sexy. It's intoxicating, it's addictive, but it's really kind of femme fatale, and that is L'Interdit Rouge by Givenchy. So good. For florals, this has tuberose and jasmine. I'm not sure. I think they're fairly well balanced. I get the tuberose, I get the jasmine. They just work so well together, and they smell so like slightly indolic, very, very sexy and sensual. This one has pimento in it. It's got orange and ginger in the opening, and that orange and ginger just gives this kind of spicy lusciousness to it. Like seriously, I smell this and I think sexy, like boom, like sexy. What's that mean? Sexy, like what the heck? It smells schmexy. Oh, so what I find with this one, when I put it on the skin, it's got this real, like I'm sorry for this expression, but kind of like, I can't help but make this, like, I don't even know what this face means. It looks like I'm smelling something stinky, but it's kind of like a, like that kind of smell. Like it's so good, but it smells super like a little bit spicy, a little bit indolic, a little bit like naughty, like big time naughty actually. In fact, this one smells like I think she would be in my assassin category. So this femme fatale type of vibe, super uber sexy, but also very luxe smelling. Now, what I find interesting about this fragrance is although it opens really spicy, kind of a little bit indolic, sensual, just like va-va-va-voom, that kind of fragrance. As it morphs, it gets sweeter and sweeter, but not cloying, just sweeter. And it starts to go from being slightly spicy, peppery, gingery with those florals to a little bit sweeter and almost root beer feeling. On my skin anyway. And then as it continues to dry down, it gets a little bit almost vanillic feeling and a little bit sandalwood. So I just really enjoy this. I think it's sensual and sexy. It's sexy in the opening, like total femme fatale sexy. And then as it dries down, it gets a little bit more sensual and intoxicating. This is very, 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 very sexy. We're talking the kind of sexy where this chick is hired by all sorts of different government organizations. She's on her own dime. She's a contractor because she's just too good to be kept by one agency. And she has this massive ethic of goodness about her. She will save the world every time. Like if you need, she's a female Ethan Hunt, man. If you need saving in the world, she is going to do the job. She's going to be a bit ruthless, but her compass is good, but she'll go to any means necessary to make sure that the good of the people survive. So that's this chick. She's mysterious. She's intoxicating. She's addictive, and I love it. Now, the next fragrance is another Giuliana's perfume, and it's called Call Me By Your Name. Oh my goodness. This is the other one that my friend Lori gave me a sample of years ago. So I've been like mesmerized by this forever. So honestly, because of those two fragrances, that's actually why I wanted to work with Giuliana's perfumes, because I just loved those two fragrances so much and like used my samples so sparingly. And their samples back in the day were a fairly decent size. So, oh my goodness, I love this fragrance. Now, this is inspired by Gourmand Coquin by Guerlain. Now, that one is this chocolatey, spicy, boozy fragrance. This one doesn't have similar notes, but it has chocolate pink pepper in the opening. In the heart, you have vanilla, amber, and jasmine. And in the base, you have labdanum, benzoin, brown sugar, and musk. This is honestly the best chocolate fragrance that I have. So I absolutely love this. It's chocolate without being too chocolatey. It's got a bit of spiciness, about a bit of booziness, and that spiciness offsets the chocolate. So one of the things that I love the most mixed with chocolate is things like cinnamon, spices, kind of like a Mexican chocolate or almost like a chai chocolate. I love that combination. So this gives me that with just a hint of booziness. It's mouth-watering. It's chocolatey without being overdone or too thick or sweet or juvenile. This is the sexiest chocolate that I know of. The other chocolate fragrance that's fantastic is Chocolate Earth by Untamed Perfumes. And that is chocolate, but it's mixed with a little bit of spice, a little bit of earthiness. And I just think it's fantastic. And then this one. I've never smelled Gourmand Coquin. I believe that it's now changed and it's under a different name. So you can get the new upgraded version. But this is just absolutely spectacular. It's chocolatey, it's spicy, it's a little bit boozy feeling, and it is absolutely sensual. So this is one that is super addictive, although I think that this is a fragrance that you could wear constantly in the fall and the winter. This is a fragrance that I think would be best for evenings in the summer. But honestly, if you want a chocolate fragrance, this doesn't ever feel too thick or heavy. I've tried it recently and didn't find it overbearing. So I think it's just delicious, totally addictive, and one of the best chocolate fragrances that I have smelled. Next fragrance that is intoxicating and addictive is The Only One Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. This actually has a bit of a Rouge Malachite vibe to me. This is it smells boozy. There's a bit of apple. There's some cedar. There's some coconut. For florals, this has neroli, orange blossom, and jasmine. I definitely get the jasmine in this. I just think it's super sexy. The apple comes across boozy to me, and I definitely get that coconut. In the dry down, I get the cashmere wood, I get the cedar, I get vanilla. It's quite sweet, but it's totally addictive, very alluring, quite sexy. This is beautiful for any sort of a fancier evening. I think that this would be gorgeous. I just absolutely love it. The cool thing about this one is it works really well in the summer or the winter. But in the summer, you get that more kind of, like I said, a Rouge Malachite vibe, which to me feels like humid, solar sexiness. So love this one. Next one that I think is uber addictive and intoxicating is Olympia Intense. Now this is primarily amber, vanilla, and salt. It smells like a salted caramel, but it also smells like sex on the beach. To me, this is such a sexy fragrance. Like imagine you've been luxuriating on a private island on the beach, and the sun is radiating, and every once in a while you go into the ocean, and then you come back out and the ocean dries on your skin. So you've got salty, warm skin, salty skin that's being warmed by the sun. Everything's golden. There's a beautiful haze, slight breeze. You can hear the seagulls gulling. You can hear the palm trees swaying. And this is what you have on in the evening when your love just decides to turn over and start nuzzling you. This is spectacular. I just find this one, if ever there was a fragrance that I wanted to describe as sexual without being like indolic and weird, this would be it. So I love it. You have to love salt, but it's just ambery, salty goodness. So good. This is amazing in the heat. So on a hot night, like you'd think it would be too thick and too sweet and too whatever, but on a hot night, this is going to be the sexiest thing you could ever put on. So love this one. You know, it's kind of like that kind of thing. Oh, I got a little too much in the nose. No, but it is amazing. Like seriously, this is so, so good. Love it. But you have to love salt. If you like the idea of a salted amber caramel being drizzled all over your skin, you'll love this. This one, it's just so freaking good. Like it's one of my top fragrances. I would say this one is in my top 20, if not top 10, for deliciousness. And it is Broceliande by Soradora. Oh my goodness. It's a limey rum caramel drink. Like just imagine a lime creamy, frothy, kind of milkshakey, icy drink with rum. So kind of like a creamed, almost like a pina colada, but limey, and then whipped cream on top and a drizzle of caramel. That's this. It is so scrumptious, but sensual, and it's addictive. Like seriously, the trail that this leaves is amazing, but it sits closer to the skin. But that's not such a bad thing, because someone will come in for a little bit of a snuggle and they won't want to leave. They'll just want to eat your neck up, because this is so absolutely intoxicating and addictive. You've got to sniff this. Fantastic. Another one by Juliana's Perfumes is Miss Fuchsia. Now this is one of their kind of blends. So it's their inspired version of a mix of like an Oriana and Killian Princess. So it's the mixture of the two. What I get is more Oriana, especially in the opening. And then as it dries down, I get a little more of that princess vibe. I just think it's sweet, sensual, addictive. I don't find this one projects massively, but I absolutely love it. Now this has lemon, mandarin orange, bergamot, orange blossom, green tea, raspberry, ginger, double marshmallow, vanilla, sweet musk, and ambrette. So I just love those notes. I love the little hint of raspberry. If you're a fan of Oriana or a fan of Princess, to me, this is a really cool combination. I like the fact that they're kind of doing a little bit of blending and a little bit of different things there right now. So really, really enjoy this Miss Fuchsia. I find this to be so, so addictive. I get the marshmallow, I get the raspberry, I get a little bit of a gingery peach vibe from it. I find it a little bit almost boozy at times. I think maybe that tea kind of helps, like a matcha tea type vibe, but it would be like it as if you took Oriana and Princess and mixed them together, and that's what you get. So really, really enjoy both of those fragrances. So the combination is so mouthwatering and totally addictive. So I love it. It's great for, just imagine going to a brunch and you just smell better than anybody else, or wearing it in an evening. Like it's totally intoxicating. You can't go wrong. Like seriously, great fragrance. Just a reminder, these 3 fragrances that I've talked about from Juliana's will be in a bundle. You get a deal. The link will be down below, so feel free to check it out and go check out any of their other fragrances. There's a bunch of new ones up and coming. Really love the quality, really love the company. So far, I've had an excellent experience with them. If you're interested, check them out. The links will be down below. Last but not least is Kahila Luxe. Guys, this is so freaking good. Now, this to me is more of a winter fragrance, but I had to mention it because I think you could totally pull this off in a summer evening and you are going to smell so sexy. It defies description. This fragrance is inspired by Kayali's Amber Invite Only. I love this so much. So Kahila Luxe has tobacco leaf, sour cherry, honey, chocolate, and hazelnut. In the opening, the heart has Ceylon cinnamon, May rose, damask rose, and citrus. The base is oud, vanilla, benzoin, sandalwood, cypriol oil, patchouli, and musk. So this is an intoxicating tobacco rose fragrance. It's so delectable and delicious. It's very opulent smelling. and totally like sensual and alluring. So like I just imagine a woman, she's dressed in a red kind of tango type dress, and all of a sudden this handsome stranger comes up and he's wearing a tuxedo. The tango begins to play, or maybe it's the flamenco or something passionate comes on, and they just come together and they start doing the dance, and everybody just watches in awe as they just spin around the dance floor looking absolutely magnificent. And they're like a couple that's been meant to be together their whole entire lives. They just fit perfectly, and they smell like this. Like the two of them together makes this amazing smell. Like seriously, smells so good. I love the tobacco. I love the rose. It smells so uber sexy. I would go light in the summer if I was going to wear this, but I had to mention it because I think it's such a stellar fragrance. And of course it's Middle Eastern, so it's affordable. So love this fragrance. You really can't go wrong. If you love something like Amber Invite Only, or if you're a fan of fragrances that have tobacco, rose, spices, you're going to love this one. Yes, it has a little bit of oud, but it's not too much. It's just a very dramatic, totally intoxicating fragrance. So that is it. Those are my most intoxicating, addictive fragrances that I wanted to share with you that I think you can wear in the summer, get away with wearing in the summer. All super sexy. Thanks again to Juliana's Perfumes. Check out the links down below if you feel like it. And what are your favorite intoxicating fragrances? Those ones that you're totally addicted to. They're sexy, they're sensual, they're alluring. Tell me what they are. I would love to know. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.